Hey Art Fam, it's Luis Martin, the art engineer, and welcome to the safe space. Are you ready for it? Bam! We're open for business. You guys, it's summer. I hope you're having a marvelous time wherever you are. I know I'm enjoying this heat wave, looking for breezes to glide like a kite. Before we start, subscribe, like, tell your friends. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for letting me know that you're enjoying this process that is this painting. Everything is a process, and a lot of times our eyes can't see the big picture. We just have to trust that everything we're doing is part of something bigger that we just can't see, right? Does that make sense? So that's what this is. What else did I want to say before I begin? Nothing. Let's start. Let's finish this project and see what's going on. Are you ready? All right, here it is, you guys. Here it is. I haven't touched it, so I've only been working on this when I'm recording, hanging out with you. So you can kind of do the math, right? This is what our fourth episode, so it's about 30 minutes. So this is a 2-hour project. Sure, you can do this in one sitting, 2 hours, right? But the truth of the matter is that when you let it simmer, when you give yourself space, you'll think of different things, and interactions throughout your day will kind of come into this, right? I don't know what I did with my source material. Oh, it's all the way over there. Let's not look at it this time, actually. I think so. This is a really good place to start. As we're finishing, ask yourself, is there anything else I want to add to this, right? So when you are collaging opposed to when you're painting, two very different things. When we collage, we're working from kind of like a subconscious level, and things are already there, and what you want to say is already there, honestly, right? Because you make the collage, then you look at it and you're like, oh, I didn't notice this, because that was already part of the photograph, it was part of a pattern, so things will kind of just jump up. With the painting, it's a little bit different, because this is all you. This is all you, and it requires you to make those connections and those dots, right? So right now is a good question to ask yourself, well, what can I add that I'm connected to? Maybe a word, maybe a color, maybe a texture, and that's a really good place to start, right? And I think it's a good time not to look at the source material, because now I'm going to make it all mine, right? But having said that, the other thing, after asking yourself, what do I want to add, the second question you can ask yourself, well, what artist can inspire me at this point? Or where can I steal from? Remember that book, Steal Like an Artist? Well, this is where that comes in, right? We already did the work. We already referenced an image. We made it our own. I put the little drag in, changed the colors, and what's next? So do I want to be inspired by another artist? Why not? So I looked into my library and got this book. So this is a very famous artist. His name is, and I don't really know his name from the top of my head, and I'm gonna butcher this, so my Chinese friends, please forgive me. Yui Minjun. I did it. I can't even, ooh, look at that. Oh my God, isn't that beautiful? Okay, so color, beautiful. Here's the thing, you guys. If you want to be a famous artist, there's only one thing you have to do, honestly. Can you guess what it is? Nope. You don't gotta sell your soul. Nope. You don't have to starve. You just have to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Yeah, think about it. Frida, self-portraits, eyebrows. Keith Haring, same little line drawings. Picasso, he's a bit of an exception, but sure. Think of any other artist that we know of, and it's about doing the same thing over and over again. I have ADD. I can never do the same thing over and over. Although maybe from a distance, right? And once I'm dead, you look at all of my work, and maybe there is a through line. Maybe you'll be like, oh no, what are you talking about? You did the same thing. You're redundant, or not, right? So it's hard to tell. But if you're obvious right now, if you want to be famous right now, do the same thing over and over. Do the same butterfly over and over and over, and people will be like, oh, that's Marsha's butterfly. Oh, Marsha, yeah, we know Marsha, the butterfly lady. So this artist in particular has become very iconic for his smiling face, which has meaning and depth, but at the same time, it's repetitive, thus becoming famous. Are you ready to see it? Isn't that hilarious? So he just does this grin over and over and over. Now it's a commentary, right? But yet it's still, he finds ways to give it depth and meaning, which is really which is a secret of not only being famous, but a secret of having something that doesn't bore you and that means something to you, right? Because it would be fucked up if you did the same thing over that you hated, right? Because then you might as well just have a 9 to 5. So, not that that's a bad thing. Please pay your bills. Please become a patron. Okay, so what am I looking at when I look at this? What makes me happy? What excites me? I am embracing the fact that I'm a maximalist. In my 40s, I've decided to embrace it. I know, you're like, take a look at your life. You're a maximalist, you're a hoarder. I'm coming to terms with it. So, having said that, I love the flatness with all the color, right? This makes me like so happy. Every time I open it, I hear like angels singing. Oh, that's the effect it has on me. Look at him, isn't he amazing? So I think that's gonna be my cue. I also really adore the shininess in all of his figures. Right? Look at that. You see there's like a sheen, like a hard light, a contrast that is contrast to the flatness of the back. So maybe I'll take a cue on that. Aren't these fantastic? Wow. Okay, so I'm just gonna paint the background for now and start there. So this is a beautiful heavy body acrylic of this, as it's called Azul Flow. I can't speak to it, you guys. Oh wait, it's here in English and I just can't read it. It's, oh, I definitely can't read that. Phthalacellophane blue, red shade. You guys, I might have just had a seizure. All right, if you can remember, I'm using this flow medium, and I don't have my reading eyes today. It's flow and additive medium from latex. No, liquid text. Anyway, I'm just gonna pour a little bit. Okay, so how are you? I hope you're doing well. I know it's really, really hot some places, and then it's really droughty in other places. It's really wet in other places. It's called summer, and terrifying, but fun. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna create a background, and never ever, I mean, I'm only giving you rules so you can break them. Never neglect the edges in your paintings. Always paint those, because it just looks finished, right? When you sell it, when you hang it, it just gives it that nice edge. Do you see how rich and beautiful this blue is? Gosh. Okay. So think about it, right? Let me know what artist you can think of that does the same thing over and over. And it doesn't necessarily have to be thematical. It can also just be style, right? There is an artist that is very, very, I'm gonna say rich, famous and popular, who's alive right now. His name is Brito. I've spoken about him before. He does the same thing over and over, and it's really gross. But this guy has like managed not to go hungry. And let me not say bad things. I'm just saying that he's figured it out, and it's great. Talent or not, whatever. So think about one. How about that? That'll be your homework, and please let me know in the comments. That's how you can turn in your homework. What is an image that you can use over and over in your work that can be your claim to fame, right? So for me, I do use butterflies a lot. I do use I don't even see, but that's the cool thing. Well, for me, that's the cool thing. I don't think I know, and I'm looking around. Flowers. I use a lot of flowers, obviously, but I try to keep it interesting. I kind of rediscover the things that I look at over and over. Fame is great, and yes, let's all be famous. But at the end of the day, I just really want to have a good time with what I'm doing, right? So, yeah, I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. Give me some ideas, and let me know if you see any trends in my work, so I can harness that. Sometimes you need to tell people the obvious, because I don't know, you guys. I just don't know. Look at that blue. Again, it's gonna absorb because of the particle board. I've learned the name, but it's okay. Okay, let's see. And so this is gonna be, I'm gonna finish this today. We'll see where it goes, because I've had fun, but now I wanna do more, and I wanna paint more. So I have a guest coming, my wonderful, wonderful aunt, who pretty much raised me as a kid. We spent a lot of time together until I was age of 16, and she was wonderful, and it's such a dream to be able to host her here in New York. She comes often, maybe every other year maybe. So to have her here and kind of treat her to the luxury that is New York is really, really exciting. So she's gonna be staying in the studio. I'm gonna turn this into a guest room after tonight. So I'm wondering where I'm gonna be doing all of my artwork. So I'm gonna be looking for a studio in my head. I have a fantasy of finding a studio in the Lower East Side, in the East Village, and you know, painting shirtless in the summer, people passing by buying my work. Why not, right? You got to put it out there. So if you know of a place here in New York, in the Lower East Side, where I can, because I just want to take one train and get to my studio. I don't want to get, you know, boggled down by long commutes. I used to have a studio in Harlem, and I lived in Bushwick, which is like 100 neighborhoods separated. So basically I took the train into the city and then took the train straight up to the end of the city. My friend had a studio complex, so she gave me a good rate or whatever, but oh my god, it was rough. It was rough. And you know what the worst thing about, it's not the worst, but one thing that I do not miss about being a conventional showing artist, schlepping. I hated schlepping. Oh my god, you know about schlepping. You know, you're like, oh, we're gonna do a show for a day, come show your paintings, and you have these huge paintings and you're lugging them around. No, yeah, that was a big no-no for me. I'm like, no, that's not the life for me. But it was exciting. Okay. So you see how gingerly I am painting? That's not me. I've already had my coffee, have you? So I'm kind of just taking my time. So about my aunt. She, my fondest memory about my aunt is just she was sincere, right? She wouldn't hold my ideas against me, or she would answer my questions as an adult, even though I was a child. So it was really cool. And the one thing that set me free, which I will always love her for, I must have been 6, 8, and there was this t-shirt that everybody had, and it said, and I've said the story many times before, and I'll say it forever. It was a t-shirt that said, "Love is blind." And I didn't get it. And I asked her, you know, "Marie, what does that mean?" And she just blatantly said, "Oh, it means that you can fall in love with anybody. Sometimes you just don't have a choice. It could be a person that's older than you, younger than you, different color, even another man, another woman." And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And it just kind of set me free to think like anything was possible. And I never questioned me being queer, me being gay. So it was beautiful to say that to a child. Oh, you save them years of guilt, you know. So thank you, Marie. So that's my thing. There are people that come into your life, you know, and they can impact you. And it doesn't mean they're going to be with you forever, and you know, nothing's forever, but they'll always stay with you. I have another friend from LA, and I think the statute of limitations is over, so I can talk about this, and I won't say who this is, but So if it wasn't for this person, I'd still be in my high school right now trying to pass the exit exam for the math part. Listen, I've always believed in angels. Well, I've always believed that just things work out. So it was the exit exam in my high school, and I knew I was going to move to New York. I didn't care if I was going to graduate. I didn't care if... I just didn't care. I knew where I was going. I knew I was going to be an artist. I was like, I don't need to pass this test to make me feel like I'm accomplishing anything, right? So it was just there in the examination room, you know, like, I'll do B, C, multiple choice. And my friend looks at me and she's like, and I'm like, she grabs my test, does the work, and bam, I passed and I was able to graduate. Believe me, if it wasn't for her, I really think I'd still be there. No, I wouldn't. I would have left and not cared, but sometimes you have to be kind, people. You have to be kind to each other. So, you know. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna do the sides now. Look at this. And we can, oh, that's so pretty. Look at that. I don't know. So in my head, I'm kind of also thinking like, okay, what thing can I do over and over that I wouldn't get bored of? I don't know. I mean, magic as a subject interests me, but I don't know if I have an iconic symbol for it, right? Maybe we should develop one. Je ne sais pas. Look how fun that is. Okay, I might have to speed this up. So I'm gonna stay really quiet because in the edit, I'm just gonna go. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Bam! Okay, I did it. I'm a very messy artist, so I have it all over the place. Angela, no, I haven't gotten my baby wipes. Okay, so the top is dry, the sides are wet. Be careful. Let me get some coffee. Get yours. Thank you for leaving in the comments. Kathy had mentioned this is a good example of remembering and staying consistent, right? And following through. That's exactly what this is. So I'm really excited about finishing this today and seeing where it takes us. All right, so I have to do the eyes. I have to maybe get rid of the brown background. It's doing something. Okay, now thinking about it, I'm thinking, how can I do this where it feels resolved, right? That's exactly how I know when a painting or a collage is done, when it feels resolved. So I have a huge wad of blue paint on my finger. Okay, let me just go at it. Don't overthink it, my friends. Let's go. Okay, so one thing that I have not been doing, you guys, I haven't been reading. So this is a really good case in point lesson, you guys. When you're in the season, enjoy it, right? Like, I was in the season of reading. Remember I read like 5 books in like a month. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm wasting my time, like I need to do stuff. Yeah, but if you're in the season of your reading, enjoy it. And don't feel guilty about where you're at. Enjoy it, right? If this is your summer season, enjoy it. Don't feel guilty, because things are going to change. Right now it's not my reading season, so I'm not reading, and I kind of miss it, but I have that moment of like, yeah, I really enjoyed reading, so I had a great time. Now let me move to my next season, right, and see where that takes me. Okay, so I'm just coloring in. Remember, when you add layers to things, it always just looks amazing. So I'm kind of adding musculature to this creature. Isn't that amazing? Okay, I'm loving this posca pen. Like I said last time, I really think like this really has broken through some blocks that I had about using paint and posca pens in one project. And it's stupid. It's a stupid block, but you know, we get all of these ideas of what it means to be an artist and what it means to cheat. And the truth of the matter is that everything goes. That's the point of being a fucking artist. It's like everything goes. Don't limit yourself. I don't know what that is. The thing is over there. I think that was like a piece of wood or something. Whatever. So one thing that I can do, which is kind of it's not a cheating, but here I go again with my limited beliefs, is I wanted to outline with black to kind of start filling in the blanks. So instead of black, maybe I can use another color, like purple. Oh, see, I've messed that tip up. So I need to find. Maybe I can use. Yeah, let me just. So this is what I'm gonna do. You see all these empty spaces? I could go in with black. I keep touching it and it's all blue. This is gonna end up insane. If it ends up in my face, I'm a winner. Okay, so I'm just gonna fill in all of this space, just so it's not empty, and see what happens. Let's see what happens, because this is where it starts to get a little bit abstract for me, right? Because let's see what happens. And I also wanted to go in with pencil and do a little sketching on it. See, at this point it starts taking a different shape because I'm making up the composition as I go. I don't even know what I'm saying, honestly. Okay. So if you're not reading, what are you doing? In what season are you right now? I'm definitely in my hot boy summer season. And what I mean by that, I've been working out all winter. I've always worked out, but for some reason right now it just like, oh look, I got a muscle. So I just feel different. And the other day I was sending pictures to my sister, and I was framing some, and in doing so, we found pictures from like 20 years ago. Me and my husband have been together for 22 years, so we have tons of pictures because I like taking pictures, obviously. And oh my God, it's amazing, you guys. Like I've always had like body dysmorphia, and I've never felt comfortable in my skin until very recently, mentally. And now, maybe like for the past 5 minutes, I've felt well physically. Like I feel like in my body. Like I feel like a man, you know, like I'm a 44-year-old man and I feel that. Before it never clicked. I never felt comfortable in my body. And it's a beautiful thing to experience. How fun to go through life like that, right? But it hadn't happened for me until very recently. And I think a lot of it was superficiality, right? Like I wanted to feel a certain way or look a certain way, and that kind of also led to the ideas of being okay. I don't know, you guys, it's wonderful. So I feel very nice, I feel very good, and when you feel very good, you do stuff like this, you're not afraid to show up because you don't care, right? You're not afraid to move around in the world because at the end of the day you're okay. So it's something to explore. And talking about kind of showing up and feeling okay in your body, this Wednesday, which is today, remind me, we're having a workshop for the flowers and men collage kit that I developed. And basically I did a kit about flowers, pictures that I've taken, and vintage queer porn, I guess, but it's art now because it's vintage, and it's amazing, really. So I just came back from the South, right? I went to Savannah, and I go around bookshops, I collect ephemera, I love vintage porn, especially queer, because it was so subversive and outlawed, and I couldn't find any. Which is, you know, it's the South, I understand. But it's terrifying to think about a world without porn. And I know that sounds bizarre, but here's the thing. So, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. And porn was a very safe way of exploring sexuality. I'm also a kid from the 80s when everybody was dying of AIDS, so sex was terrifying to me. To some extent it still is. So porn was a way to explore sexuality, explore the body without actually partaking in it, right? And that's an important step. So I think a lot of it is also very therapeutic, right? It creates a safe space for people to explore their sexuality. I mean, the type of porn that exists is another totally different story because a lot of it exploits women, but that's another conversation, right? But I think whatever brings you closer to who you are is that's the important part. All right, so now I'm going to bring out my pencil. Because I think this is going to be really fun when you change your medium, right? So I'm going to use the pencil to draw in these flames, and look at that! Isn't that just the coolest thing? Yes. Ha ha ha! Yes. Okay, and this is something that I've been dying to do but never really did. I don't know. I think I was intimidated by it, honestly. Okay. That doesn't look too good, but it's alright, it's fine. So yeah, so I think it's an important conversation to have about, I mean, and if you think about, what happened during Prohibition, right? It just made things worse. When we suppress each other, it just makes things worse. As a matter of fact, so I did find a bookshop. I made friends with someone at a bookshop, and I was like, it's so weird that I can't find any ephemera, any porn. And he's like, oh wait, my mom found this, and he showed me a comic, and they were these little comic book strips, pornographic, very cute, very fun. And as I was looking at them, one of them was about like this guy who meets Mae West. Mae West was an amazing sexual entertainer, who's, I mean, amazing. They say, before her time. It was her time, but people just went backwards. Anyway, but it ends with him taking off one of her breasts. It's like, this is what happens when we become suppressed, right? When we repress our sexualities, it turns into something really creepy. Like Bola, remember the story of Bola, who can only be himself once a year and then he destroys everything? Same thing, right? Look at that. Connections, connections, connections. So I know this is deep conversation. You're like, wait, what did I sign up for this? Let me know. I keep touching the painting while I'm painting, but still. Okay. So, and I'm really open about all of this because I made it through. Like, it got better. Like, I really believed it's gonna get better. Somebody told me it's gonna get better, and it did. And I facilitated that, and now I'm here to remind you that it gets better, right? It does. It really, really does. I promise. It might take a lifetime. It might take 5 minutes, but it's all up to you, really. Just usher it in. And I think the number one key to that is letting go. Letting go. Okay, I'm loving this. The thing that keeps me up at night a little bit is his eyes. Because I don't know what kind of face I want. This has always been my dilemma, you guys. Because I come from all of this, I've always held back from being too cute, because I know there isn't only cuteness. I always want to make sure that I talk about the darkness, and when I draw faces, they always look so animated and happy, and I'm like, no, like I want to make them a little bit more real, whatever that means. Okay, I wanted to do something with that tail. And maybe I'll use the pencil again, right? Isn't that fun? Yeah. See, and when you play around with the thickness of the line, the execution, it just does something really cool. Oh, I love it. Okay, I also had a China marker. Where are you? Here we are. Alright, so again, if you know of a place where I can make my art, do a studio, let me know, here in New York. Okay, so I have this dragon. Oh, you guys. See, this is where it gets dangerous, because then you start getting precious. You're like, oh, I don't want to mess it up. Doesn't matter. Bear with, bear with. Okay, here's the black. Okay. Let me see if I can... Alright, look at that. Oh, man. So this is... How cool is this? So I don't like the whole black outline because I think it's a little too easy, but here it seems to work. And I don't have to complete it. I don't have to, you know, make all the lines meet. So I'm just going to do some highlights here and there. Wow. Alright, this is cool. I'm very happy with the way this is turning out. Alright. Maybe here. Brill. Okay, yes, okay. So, again, this is where we ask that question, okay, do I need to add anything else? What do I want to say? What are the things that I'm emphasizing, right? So, here, I'm emphasizing the dragon. I also want to emphasize the sword. And I think the way I can do that is by maybe adding some highlights. There we go. Do you see it a little bit better? Okay. Maybe the same thing with this armor. Very cool. So again, I'm thinking of the artist that we're looking at and how he created like this greasiness to everything, right? Very cool. Okay. And now the face, you guys. I think that's gonna be it, and then I'm done. But you know what? I like this, but what is this? What's going on here? Maybe I can just... Developing patterns is a really good way to just create kind of like, again, rhythm, noise, right? So again, take inventory of our time that we spent on this, right? So it wasn't that much, you guys. It really wasn't. And look how much we got done, right? We accomplished a lot. So think about that next time you want to embark on something. Now it's turned into a class. But let me know how you like this, because we can do another long-term project opposed to the short ones. Oh, you know what? Do I want to do a little bit? Okay, let me do his body a little bit, right? Because I did his face, but I didn't delineate Bola's body. Oh, man. How fun. Okay. So I want the viewer's eyes to kind of fill in the blanks, but I am giving some help. Oof. Oh, Mr. Unicorn. Actually, I said it was unicorn, but he doesn't have a horn. Well, maybe not all unicorns have horns. How about that? See how kind of that just guides the eye, right? And I think I want to do the same thing with these flames. As I say flames, this weekend is Pride. Here in New York and across the country. We happen to have our June members hangout this Saturday. So if you remember Meet You in the Sandbox, we're going to do a prompt, which I'll give away just so you can do it too if you're not a member, because I think it's a really good one. Make a collage. Surprise! Now, make a collage of a queer person in your life, a person that has touched your life in a positive way, and celebrate them. Make a collage. It doesn't have to be of their face. It could be something that represents them, right? So, as I say this, I just remembered that a few days ago I got a text from my friend Max. Hey Max, letting me know that our French teacher from high school had passed away. His name was Jeff Jonah. Rest in power. He was a amazing queer teacher. He was in French. He was a New Yorker. He was like a brash New Yorker, and he was just awesome, an awesome example of a gay man in the 90s. So yeah, if I was gonna make a collage about him, I don't necessarily need to use his face, but I can, I remember his scarf, I remember his coffee, and his cell phone, and and just memories live on like that. So that's someone who I might consider to create a pride collage for. So think of someone who's touched you in a positive way. Okay, so for the sake of goodness, you guys, I'm still debating about this face. Look, I'm gonna give Bolo red eyes. Oh, he's so cool. In love. And I'm not gonna give. Oh my gosh. So I'm really surprised with this, because I'm surprising myself, because I'm going places here that I haven't been to before. So thank you for taking this journey with me. And here's the thing. For me, this is really helpful, right? Having you and holding me accountable every week, right? Because sure, I can do this, but I think that's why I've always wanted to. That's why I don't follow the route of gallery artists, because there's no community in that. There's no, I don't know. I do know. This is what I like, so thank you. Okay, so, the face. So I made his eyes red, and at the end of the day, the armor is the soldier, the whatever, the knight is Bolo. So I'm just gonna make his eyes red too. Oh, I love you so much. Oof, that's nice. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and let me see if I have a fine point. Yes, okay. So we can do it with this. No, okay, just let it dry a little bit. But either way, that looks really good. I like his eyes too. Okay, we're almost done here. I'm so excited, you guys. Okay, let me see. I'm also taking a break, you guys. I said it in my email blast. If you're not part of the email blast, join the email blast. We have really good stuff. Go to collagedream.com at the bottom, sign up. I send 2 emails a week. One is all about Collage Dream, and which is on Monday, and then on Friday is just from my studio. I share one of my songs that I'm listening to and some of my work, sometimes poetry. So I'm taking a break from the collage happy hour, which usually happens every Thursday, but I'm tired and I'm excited and I want to go out. And Thursdays is like the new Friday, so Thursdays, like, stuff's happening. Like this Thursday, tomorrow, I'm gonna go see a concert. Lauren Kramer, who is a wonderful kind of torch singer. So I'm really excited about that. Last week I saw Future Islands, which is an amazing band. And you know what's crazy? So it's ooh, I love it. It's a little. The face is a little soft. So as I'm looking at it, I want to fix something. Okay, so the thing about that band is that it's an older. It's my generation type of band, I guess. And all of the people, most of the people in audience were like my age and they were all men. And I'm like, this is like a dad concert. And then when I noticed that, I looked around. Nobody was taking pictures. Nobody was taking video. People were just enjoying. And I was like, and I looked to my younger friend to my left, and I'm like, no one's taking pictures or videos. He's like, you guys are enjoying the moment. I can't relate. I thought that was funny. Okay, so the head looks a little discombobulated. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna maybe, I don't know, do that. Create a shadow so it doesn't look like the arm is so out of place. Yeah, see, that does something much better. And then we can pretend like there's flames. See? That's how you fix a mistake. And then we can even go here and pretend like there's tons of shadows. And why not do Achilles heel? Is that Achilles heels? No, that's like Midas. Ooh, yes. Alright, now we're going places. God dang. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop or else I'm never gonna stop. You guys, this is our painting. So as we do with collage, as we do with anything when we live, let's take a look at what we did. All right, I'm done. Okay, so this is my what 2-hour painting of St. George. Yes, St. George. Okay, so what did I do? I'm gonna go get it. I was inspired by this, and I found this particle board, and I decided to paint. And I added my own flair. I added a dragon bola from a book that I was reading, and then I figured out that the dragon is I, and I went for it. So I broke some of my rules. I never mix posca with my paintings. I didn't collage, which I usually collage, right? Collage dream, hello. But it worked out. And the face is still keeping me up at night. Okay, there we go. What a face. I love it. Okay, maybe a little hand. So here's the thing, right? A painting is never really done until it leaves your studio. So, I mean, whatever. But I like that I was able to be playful with the color. I was able to be playful with the execution. You can see the looseness in the drawing. And I held back when it came to the black lines because I love the graphicness of black lines, but I think they become more powerful when you don't use them so much, right? And this is it. I'm really excited about this. Thank you for joining me in this. I can't help it. Sorry, hold on. Oh, how cool is that? Yes. Okay, I'm really, really happy. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me one more time, and I will see you next week. And tell me, what should we do? I won't be in the studio because my aunt's going to be in here, so I'll probably be in my living room or maybe sending you a postcard. I don't know. Let me know. Give me your ideas. This is Luis Martin, the art engineer. Thank you. Have a great summer, and enjoy your season.